Or to the club. So if it asks anybody, usually it's the other co-hosts and things, just say, okay. And then we are going to go live on Facebook. I believe we are live on Facebook. Welcome, everybody. This is the Upper Midwest Bead Society's Let's Bead Live with Karen Bruns. And we're so darn excited. We've got an earring class from her today, working with her wonderful cabochons. And then she's going to have a trunk show of all the beautiful work she does. So from 1 to 2, we'll have a class. So get your supplies together. We emailed everyone the pattern and the supply list. And if you haven't got it, you can go to umbs.org website and download it there and gather all your supplies to join us. And then from 2 to 3 o'clock, we're going to have a trunk show. So stick around, come on back, and all the beautiful things you'll be able to purchase live. So then you can make more beautiful things for all the great friends you have for the holidays. So Roberta, welcome, and Sylvie, Linda, we got all kinds of people here. Does anybody have any other announcements they want to make? I don't think we have any bead society other than we have the Upper Midwest Bead Society going to be at the Twin City Bead Bazaar this year. It's October 29th and 30th. It's at the Eisenhower Community Center, which is right there in Hopkins. It used to be the high school, so it's right on Highway 7 off of 169, the Eisenhower Community Center. So it's the Twin City Bead Bazaar. You can find information on Facebook, and they have a website, and Goody Beads Dakota Stones are running it. And so there's more information on all their sites as well. If you have any questions, there's going to be all kinds of great vendors. And we're going to have make and takes, and the Toho Challenge will also be there with the art gallery of all the artisans. And so put that on your to-do list to go on October 29th and 30th. And we did just get a library full of books from our Bead Society library, which we have not been able to get at the Textile Center. And so we're going to be having some of those at the Twin City Bead Bazaar for sale, but the best ones we're going to be having on our auction, our online auction fundraiser, and on Facebook that we're going to be doing. So we've got great things coming up for you all fall. So Hannah, would you like to take it away for us?
I'd be happy to. It's my honor and pleasure to be able to introduce Karen, who is our teacher today and also will be doing trunk show of her lovely work. And Karen and I have been friends, I think it's 15 or 20 years now. I first met her at Bead and Button. And so Karen has over 30 years of artistic experience covering bead weaving, bead embroidery, and she enjoys working with resin, glass, and metal. And we will see some of her her cabochons and her resin, I think, today. So since 2012, she's devoted her talent to women in a remote jungle village in southern India, teaching them how to bead weave. These women have had their own business. And I think can you say that for me, please? Is it Ashagi?
Ashage.
Okay, jewelry.
Yep.
And are supported in part by a stateside 501c3 where their products are sold at speaking events. So they are an equal opportunity, and they are selling it at the reasonable prices as opposed to what you usually get, unfortunately, which is much too low. So Karen has taught at the Bead and Button Show for many years, and she's been a guest instructor at local bead shops. So Karen is going to be teaching the set of earrings that you can see behind her and then on her iPhone screen. And I think, unless there's anything else that you want me to say about how wonderful you are, Karen, she's been a dear friend for years. I think that you can take it away, right?
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming today. I hope that you're going to enjoy this. These are super simple. So if you're an advanced beater looking for a crazy challenge, you might have to add some things to this pattern. This is one of those things that you can make in an afternoon and wear later that night. To give you a reference of how long they look on, I'm wearing them. Okay. So I'm wearing the little purple ones. And so I love long earrings. Longer the better. Actually, when I put these on, I thought, I could go with another inch. So depending on how long you like them, these are adjustable. You can just put in less of the fringe beads, and there's instructions inside of the pattern to help guide that if you're not a super long earring lover like me. You can make them in a way that works. You don't even have to put fringe on them. So I've got a few videos. There's something in here, though, that I wanted to show you ahead of time. There's a little trick that I do with these particular cabochons. These particular cabochons all come with a felt backing that I apply. And so let's say that you have gotten to the point where you're ready to bead and you've forgotten to glue down the cabochon. You don't have to worry about that. There's a little trick that I do, and that is to just kind of go through the center. Let's see if I can get the needle to go there. Yeah, I just go through the center a few times in a circle. And what happens is this ends off, when you do put the glue down, if you do choose to put it down later, it will hold the knot in place, or the weaving in place. You don't need to put the glue down, though, if you just go through this a few times. And then when you put your cabochon on top, you can actually prick part of the actual embroidery backing that's underneath, okay? And then you could just kind of sew quickly around, whip stitch quickly around that, and it works out really well. So I wanted to show you that before we get started. When I have time and I'm not anxious about the glue, and I've got the time to let it dry, what I'll do is I will go ahead and tie a couple of really loose knots. I tie the loose knots because they have a harder time trying to climb up through the embroidery backing. And then I don't worry about, whether there's 2 of them there. I don't worry if it's, 3 of them there. Sometimes I'll go around and try to make a little bit of a bigger loose knot. You can kind of see how it looks, okay? So then I would get started. I'm going to go ahead and play a video for you and share a screen. And I apologize that this video, it will not allow me to export it to show the whole thing. So these are going to be individual videos later published to the YouTube channel that I'll have to figure out how to put them all together for you, but they'll be available for you later if you wanted them. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'll share screen over to this. Okay. And we will go ahead and get started. See if I can share the sound. It's not going to share the sound. Hang on. It's not going to share the sound because I have some. Okay, so that's muted. All right, well, we may not be able to use these. Apologize for that.
Unless
Okay,
you
so-
just want to talk over it, show it without the sound. And
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that.
That would
It's
be
like
the easiest.
you know, silent movies.
Let's
You
see
know,
how
we're a
well I
little
can.
old, but you know, it works.
Right? Let's see how well I can dub it. Okay. Let me get into share the screen again. Thanks for your patience. Oh boy. Apologies. Okay, this doesn't seem like it's going to work. So what I'm just going to do is talk through it. Doesn't want to work without echoing like crazy. So what we're going to do is we will just, I like to start somewhere on the, not exactly on the corner. Okay. I like to start kind of a little bit in. And the other thing to note is that I also do not start immediately adjacent to the cab. There is a tiny bit of a space there. And the reason for that is that these cabs have kind of a curved edge and we don't want to bead under. So you can see that we want to try to make it so that it'll be safe. So we're going to start with 2. We're going to just do a standard add 2, reinforce through 3 backstitch. And what I do is something a little different than what I had learned from Sherry Serafini. Actually, I added this little tap, right? So you just kind of tap against the beads so that you can get them to slide over, and that way you don't have these excess gaps. And then you can go down to the outside edge of the last bead added. Okay. Then we're going to come back up before the very first bead added. Go through 2 because that's all we have. And then we're going to add 2 more. And then we will come back up between beads 1 and 2 and run through 3. The last 3 added. I'm going to pause this for just a minute. Keep going, adding 2, running back through 3. I'm going to see about taking this out of this program that I had put it in and just playing it from the Finder and seeing if that works. Can you hear me now? All right, let's try this. All right, so here we are getting ready to start beading our Rockin' Cosmic earrings. And I want to apologize in advance for the paint that I have on my finger. I wanted to have nice looking nails done for this video, but we decided that we were going to primer a bedroom and get ready for new painting in there. So I wanted to show you before we get going too far into this where I have my needle placed. So you'll notice that the needle is not exactly adjacent or pressed up against the cab. See, I can tap the cab, right? I do this because these cabs have a kind of a curved edge. And if we're not careful, the beads can go underneath the curved edge, and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is, I'm a big believer in don't reinvent the wheel, and I'll give credit where credit is due. I learned this method from Sherry Serafini, and let's not reinvent the perfect wheel. So we lay down 2 beads, and then I usually give them a little bit of a tap. I find that I give them a tap, helps them kind of line back up to where there's not excess thread. And then I'm able to place my needle down immediately next to the beads, okay? So we're gonna go through and then we will come back up through the very beginning where we first put our needle. And we're gonna run our needle through those 2 beads, okay? We'll pick up our next 2. And I do something a little different than what has been taught to me previously. I pull this thread out, and then I kind of hold on to it to make sure that it's not going anywhere or catching too much tautness. So then what I'll do is I'll do my little tap and run my needle through at the base edge of the last bead added. And then I'm going to come up between beads 1 and 3. Excuse me, between beads 1 and 2, so that I'm always coming up between the very last 3 beads added. And I will run the needle through those 3 beads added. We're going to do this all the way around the cab. So I will do this with you up until the corner because some folks aren't comfortable with corners. Coming back up again through the last 3 added, or before the last 3 added rather, and then through the last 3 added. Now, if you're adding these and you're thinking, well, my beads don't look as nice as what you're seeing right now, that's okay. Even a set of beads that goes all the way around the base of the cab, if they're looking wonky, we can make those look straighter. So you'll pick up 2 more beads. And you'll notice now that I'm wrapping that thread around so that I'm helping those beads hug the corner. I'm still going to do my tap. And I'm going to come back up through the last 3 beads added before the last bead added, and then through. Now, something that I do when I'm hugging a corner like this is I like to make use of this thumbnail. Just kind of hold on to that thread. See how I have my hand wrapped around the thread like this? And then just kind of gently tap or press against that last bead added, and that's going to help those beads all snug up together. And then we're ready to go around to the next side. I'll pause the video. What questions do you have?
I think it's all going well.
All right. And how far along are we?
I'm 3/4 of the way around, so I don't know where everybody else is, but I'm getting there.
I'm not using one of your cabs, but I'm about halfway around.
Cool. That begs the question, what beautiful thing are you using?
Oh, well, I'm just doing these. They're a little checkmate crystal-y things, but I look forward to seeing your trunk show. But you're inspiring me to make something that had these sitting here forever, so that's all good.
Yeah, I have a beautiful little labradorite. It's a cross between a triangle and a teardrop, and I had cut it a long time ago and had never done anything with it. So I'm very excited.
Nice.
Yeah, I've never done the combination of the embroidery and the fringe and the whole thing together. So this is just such a fun mixed media adventure for me.
Yeah, and your pattern is great,
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
really great.
That makes me very happy to hear.
Sorry, Karen, for being a little bit late.
Hey, Joanne, you got your purple
Hey,
glasses
honey. I took a look at my watch and I went, oh my God, it's after 2.
on? It's all right.
You knew I wouldn't miss this.
It's a chance for the 3 of us to wear our purple glasses together.
Oh, I should go get my purple glasses. When I take a break, I'll run in there and go get them.
What is everyone's favorite color?
Do I really have to tell you?
No, Joanne's purple. She's wearing her purple shirt.
Yeah.
Joanne and I are both purple.
Ah,
I
I'm
love
green.
purple. I organized all my finished jewelry by color. And
Wow.
I had the most teal and turquoise stuff. But I have a mix of everything, so I like everything.
I like many colors as well. There are some that speak to me more than others. Green is one that speaks to me more.
Yes.
Well, the pink I have in here is exactly the same color as my nail polish.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yeah, nice. Joanne, we're just getting started with the simple 2 beads on, reinforced through 3.
Right.
Yeah.
I just got to figure out which color I'm supposed to be using.
Bead A first.
Yeah, bead. If you place the first row of A beads flush the value on short uncovered to the bezel.
Now, normally I know many folks like to use thread instead of fire line on their fringe, and that makes perfect sense, especially if you're in a real humid area. And but I will tell you that I have chosen to be experimenting with 3-pound or 2-pound fire line for the light weighted fringe. So these can tolerate a 3-pound fire line.
Wow. I
What about
didn't-
the 4 pound?
The 4 pound makes them look a little curly, you know?
And the other thing you can do is the nano fill, which is what I'm
Right.
using, because it is a thinner diameter.
Nice.
So
But you
a
can also use thread, can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean,
many people prefer to use thread. I'm a diehard Fireline girl for a couple of reasons.
so am I.
I am I bead fast and reckless.
I know.
There are sometimes I split my thread really, really quickly. I go right into it, you know? And because I'm beading fast, sometimes and I'm pulling, sometimes you'll see the piece here like zing across the camera you know, because it's just gone airborne. It's just left my hands, which usually results in some kind of a knot, and I find Fireline easier to get out.
You and me both.
I have a friend who calls me the knot whisperer with Fireline.
I can get it out of Fireline. I can't get it out of the other too much.
When I've beaded with thread in the past and I get a knot, I'm like, okay, I guess this piece is never getting made. All right, so our next video is going to talk about the step up. 708, where is 708? There we go. Okay, here we are back ready with getting ready to do our reinforcement around the whole outside. And this is what's going to help pull those. Maybe there's an extra little space here or maybe over here, and it's going to help try to pull those together. So I've grabbed my last 2 beads and I'm just going to run that needle through all of the beads all the way around. And we're going to go just a little ways beyond where we were. Now, before we go too far, I want to bring to your attention that by using 2 beads, what we've done is we've created 1 bead to pop up, 1 bead to lay down, 1 bead to pop up, 1 bead to lay down. And let me see if I can zoom in so you can kind of see how some of them are just a little different in height. Okay, zoom back out just a little bit. All right, so we're going to come out of this bead because it's an up. It's a bead that goes up. Now we want to be coming out of the bead that goes up because the next bead that we place in to start our tubular peyote or circular peyote is already sitting down for us, and that next bead beyond it is already popped up. See that? Zoom this in just a little bit so you can see how he sits there nicely on top. And now we're just going to go all the way around, skipping a bead, adding a bead. And sometimes you'll find that your beads may want to lay flat towards the outside of the circular beading that you're trying to do, which, as I say, it sounds funny since we're beading on a square. So if they want to lay down, it's okay to help them stand up a little bit. So you can see we're starting to make, this is technically the third row. This first row that we put down of back stitching was actually rows 1 and 2. We call this the third row because we're counting right from the very bottom, 1, 2, 3, diagonally up, okay? That's how you can tell how many rows you've got. We'll stop the video and we'll come back for the step up. How far along are folks?
I'm about 3/4 the way around on this row.
Okay.
I zoomed ahead a little bit, but so I'm
Perfect.
adding my B row.
Perfect.
You're fast.
Huh.
Joanne, I don't think that you were here when I started talking about the videos, but they'll be available to everyone after. I'll figure out a way to get them onto YouTube and then unlisted, and then I'll send them to Rochelle.
It's
Oh,
so
okay.
cool. So cool you're doing videos. Way to go.
I was listening to a thing on NPR about the way people learn, the visual learners, the people who need the words. Some people just need pictures. Some people need to be shown. So to have the multimedia all in one with the pattern and the visual.
Yeah.
It really
I'm better
does.
off with words.
I need to hear it. I'm real auditory oriented.
Yeah. Well, by day, I'm a professional trainer. So
Wow.
my day job that allows me to play with beads.
In a store, is that right?
Say again?
Are you do you do training in a store?
No, I train online. I train coaches.
Oh, great.
Yeah, for professional coaching. And then I also train in software development.
Oh, great.
I'm a nerd.
Nerd. Yay.
And she's also a fabulous beater.
Fabulous.
Joanne's a paid representative.
Why not?
I tell my husband that too, whenever he gives me a compliment. I'm like, oh, he's like, isn't that wonderful to like get a compliment? And I'm like, it feels good. I go, but I think you're kind of a paid representative. That's kind of your job.
Well, I get paid in beads.
All the bead ladies I've met are brilliant. Everybody, very teachers, a lot of professionals, a lot of tech, IT people. And
Oh, yeah, they're terrific.
doctors, whatever, lawyers, HR
Well,
people,
we have a few that are engineers.
Chemist.
engineers. Yep. We should take over the world.
Right? There are 6 different charms on 11 sticks of fringe. on this
That's
earring.
cool.
So it may feel like it's too much. It might feel like it's not enough. Totally your choice. You can make them less. The other thing that I like about them is I'm a big fan of gentle, like wind chimes, you know? And these kind of remind me of wind chimes because when you move, there's like this very gentle, quiet, you know, tingling that, I don't know if you can hear them. But when they're all put together, they remind me of that. They're not too loud. They're not a sensory assault. They're just really gentle. Kind of fun. We'll go through with the next video. All right, here we are back at the step up. See if I can zoom this in just a little bit. We have a bead already on, and what we're going to do is that bead that we wanted to go into, we'll go into that one and the next one up. Okay, see that? Okay. And now we are ready to start the next row. And this time we're going to mix it up just a little bit. We're going to start with our beautiful pale green. Get these little guys out of here though. This pale green I felt was a perfect complement to the green that's in there. And we're just going to go in, pick up one, stick the needle in all of the beads that are sticking up, in one of the next bead that's sticking up rather, and do that all the way around. Okay, we'll check back in when we get to our step up. Actually, we'll do one more here because it looks like I was not on the camera since the zoom out. There we go. And now we'll see you back at the step up. Has anyone started the 15s yet?
I was just checking which row I'm supposed to do that on. 1, 2, 3. I have 4 rows. So 1 with the second color, 3 with the first color.
Row 4 is the second color. Then you're going to do one more
Okay.
of the first color.
Yeah, I was trying to read the directions. Wait a minute, am I on step 12? Where am I?
That happens to me. I have to keep a little pencil next to me when I'm beading a new pattern for the first time.
What row is the 15s?
I think it's 5.
Ah,
No, 6. Sorry, 6. Mhm.
6. Gotcha. Okay, see, I was skipping stuff. Bad girl. I'm actually in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. I just thought you guys have such a nice group, and it's so neat, all the patterns you put out there. And these Let's Be Live. It's a great group.
Yeah, it really is.
You're in Florida. I'm in California.
Oh, wow. There you go. Neat.
And I'm Michigan.
And I'm in Oregon.
Oh, wow.
I think that's why Zoom is so great. Did you get very much water in Tampa? Did you get?
You mean the hurricane? It was really bad. It's about 2 weeks ago now. And
I know my daughter
got-
lives there. She lives in Clearwater.
yeah, it was like a strong tropical storm. And we had a lot of debris, but we were so lucky compared to Fort Myers area.
Oh God.
Yeah. And
My
even-
daughter said all she had, well, she lives in a second floor apartment and somehow there's a hole underneath the front door and she's been after them to fix it. So she started getting water. So she put big bags, garbage bags full of stuff there and she did. And she never lost power or anything.
wow. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't either. Wow. So lucky.
Well, because it turned, it wasn't supposed, you guys were supposed to be hit.
Yeah. And the flooding and everything afterwards, it's just unreal.
My girlfriend lives in Bonita Springs and she said, what's going on that part? It's just horrible. Marco Island's really bad too.
Yep. I gotta go get it 15. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm going to put into the chat a link to my favorite scissors.
Oh, neat.
So these scissors are curved. See them?
Oh, yeah. I've seen
Yeah.
those before.
I love them. They're perfect for, I've gone up to 12-pound fire line with these guys and no worries, they've stayed sharp for a really long time. And the other thing I like about them is that I can get in really close, or I can go around and it makes it much easier.
Great.
And they're not too pricey for a pair of scissors. When you think about them, I think they're like $11 or something like that. $15. Looks like they've gone up. I think they were 11 when I bought them.
That's still less than I was Jim Holtz,
Yeah, those are nice as well though,
yeah,
but I really like this curve,
cool. That's like I like a bendy needle.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get curved needles.
Or you can use a Toho size 11-0 needle, which are very flexible and yet then go back into shape without crumbling.
I love those.
They're my favorite, especially if you're
Rochelle,
trying to
I
use
bent
check
a
beads.
Toho needle and it works great as a curver.
Nope.
think it was the tulip needles people came out with a few years back, and they were like the rage, you know, oh, we just love these tulip needles. And so I thought, all right, I'm going to get a pair or get a set. And I did. And I immediately did not prefer them because the beadwork that I do or tend to do, I benefit from a curved needle, and I could not bend that thing to save my life.
Oh, I broke one the other day.
You broke one?
Yeah,
Oh, I had not heard anybody say that before.
yeah, it broke. I was trying to pull it through something and it broke.
Yeah, I like a needle that'll move a little bit myself.
Pony needles. Remember those?
I do remember those.
Yeah, the little 15s just tighten this down so nice.
Yeah, they the 15s are so much fun. My foxglove necklace is made entirely in 15s.
How many grams did that take? Wow.
A lot. I think the stem or the rope alone takes 20.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty healthy size kit.
But they're beautiful.
Joanne and I bead together, and I've been making different colorways of the foxglove, and it feels like every time she says, "What are we working on today?" My answer is the foxglove. But
Well, I know 15s take longer to use, but the detail you can get is just so amazing. So
That's right, yeah. This is the orange one.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep trying to grow foxglove and having mixed results in my garden. Most people can grow them in their alleys, without even caring. And it's like, man, what am I doing wrong?
What's your weather like today, Rochelle? I know you had snow yesterday.
Sunny and cold. But it's a perfect fall blue sky off of the colorful trees. So we're in perfect color for fall colors. But it's like 45 degrees out there.
Oh, that's not that cold.
No, it only got 34 overnight. So it's warmed up pretty quick with the sun. The snow melted pretty quick by 1 o'clock yesterday.
I'm sure.
I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next row. I'm going to jump us ahead a little bit in the video. I think we're getting to that spot right there. And with this, we'll do a step up into the previous row and this next bead, which was the start of our 15th. Now, if you would like to do a second row of 15s, again, you're more than welcome to do that. But since we're trying to do just this pattern demo, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at just 1 for this. And then what I like to do is kind of, and I refer to it as snaking down the side of the cab, and I'm going to zoom in for just a minute here. So you start doing this diagonal weave down to the bottom of the first row, okay? And we are at this spot right here, so that's going to bring me into this other, the last 3 rows, or rather the first 3 rows of the iris bead. You can see it's coming through the back side there, okay? Now, because I am doing bead embroidery and because I have a surface back here, that I can actually tie a little bit of a knot on. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I do a little slip. Quite often I'll just weave my needle through the beads in bead weaving and not actually tie a knot, but this time I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, I do not cut my thread. I go ahead and I leave my thread attached in the back, but I do carefully cut around the outsides. Therefore, since my thread is here on this side, I'm going to pull it across to the other side so that I don't snip the thread accidentally. And something for us to keep in mind is if you wanted to add a little something around the outside of this, you could. There's plenty of room on the piece of embroidery fabric and the piece of ultra suede that you're getting in the kit that will allow you to choose to do just that. So maybe some cup chain, maybe a little piece of pearl, something like that. But for this, and this is super important, I want to make sure that people understand, because this is something that I see people do all the time, is that they hold their scissors like this, right? And you can see the bottom blade and the top blade, they're not in line. What I want you to try to do is practice holding them straight on, right? We practice holding them straight on, you're not going to find yourself getting short on fabric. And just keep pulling that thread around as you're cutting. Might want to cut a little of the excess corners off, kind of turn it over to look at it and see what does it look like here. It's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the excess there. All right, so our next step will be to take this piece and set it. I'm going to move to the next one. Okay, because I am not a fan of wasting ultra suede, I'm going to go ahead and just use a strip that I have here, okay? And then I'll show you what I do to kind of conserve the ultra suede. I put just a little P dot on the back of the cap. Then I'm going to make sure that my thread that I have that's ending off over here, I'm actually going to run it across and through the middle of that glue, and then I'm going to plant this down as close to the edge as possible. And you might think, well, this is too tiny a piece to actually use again in the future. And if you're big into bead embroidery and you want to add just a little something extra onto a piece that you've already worked on, and you haven't completely sealed off on the back, you might find that you actually use this little piece, which is about 8 millimeters left over. So just a thought. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this around, and I am going to make sure my thread is out of the way. To be shown, do I want,
So then we talk about,
you know, the green on the side, the light green on the side? Do I want it on the bottom?
so Joanne, you have an oval kit.
Yeah.
Do I want
As
it
does I think
on the other side? I'm feeling like, no, that's not
oval
it.
kit.
And I also have the decision to make, do I want to make these as diamond shape, or do I want to make them a square shape? Now, my 2 cents is I would like the diamond shape. That's who I am. I feel like that's a good shape for an earring. Square shape for an earring, it's okay, but it's also not going to lend to using the same number of beads in your fringe, okay? So we'll set that beautiful guy aside. Dry enough for us to begin to manipulate.
Is there anyone who does not know how to put the ultra suede on the back and begin that brick stitch edge? Everyone good with that?
I'm good with that. I just didn't know if.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
But just tell people what they should do in case, blah, 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 just in case.
I'm right at that spot, so I'll just go ahead and there. So we know that the thread is coming, it's glued through. It's actually last stitched and knotted on this side. And remember, we wrapped it through the glue, so it's coming out on this side. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is get a whole stitch of the embroidery backing and the ultra suede. Okay, ultra suede first. Now for me, I always hold my cabs away from me when I'm beading. So that beautiful side that we're going to see when we're wearing the earring, I always hold it away. Okay. And I have particularly oily hands. And so what I have to do when I'm going to work with any kind of fabric in my jewelry, or work with something like one of these cabs that has a little glaze over the top, I try not to hold the top of this. So you can see our cabs here. I try not to do this with my particular fingers. I have the group of Indian women that I teach, and they work with curry all the time, right, in their meals. And so when they're beading, we actually put a piece of tissue paper, and you can use any tissue paper, between, not a Kleenex for tissue paper, but actual tissue paper, like you would use in a gift. And we put a little piece of that over there, and they'll hold it like that, because the temptation is that we're going to hold it like this, but curry and spices and natural oils that come through the hands can ruin the glaze that's on the top. It can start to make it dull and sticky. Okay, so what we want to do is just either not worry about holding it. The other thing that I've also been known to do is put a little piece of ultra suede over it, right? It's sitting right there. You've got that opportunity to grab an extra piece. Okay, so for me, I'm just going to hold on to that ultra suede. And I think for the edging, I don't think that I want the lighter color. I think that I really want to go with this darker color, but I think that's just who I am. I prefer to be used. Okay, and in this case, that's what I'm going to be doing. Now you'll notice that I had taken the stitch from the back side towards the front. Okay, now I did that because now I've got my thread on this side, and when I come across here to bring those two beads in, those first two beads, which we start with 2 for the edging, and what I do is I take a kind of a look at these 2 beads, and I kind of set them there, and I think that this is about where 2 beads would be, and I take that stitch. And the reason that I do this is because it allows me to see the beads and to visualize where they're going to be. So I have pretty good spacing at the end of all of this. Okay, I always make sure that I'm also not starting at a corner either, right? So right here, I've started at this point on the back of the cab. The reason for that is when we get all the way around and we come back to this spot right here, and we're getting ready to add that next to the last bead, we want to make sure that it's not too close so that it doesn't buckle. From this point forward, we're going to take just 1 bead at a time and imagine that 1 bead space. Give it a good little snug, and then come up from the bottom of that bead. Okay, up towards the top, and I give it a little back and forth snug. Okay, so from the top it looks like this, but from the side it's this. Okay, what that does is that helps my bead set where it needs to set. All right, suede. If we don't, Okay, go to a new share. So this is where I'm going to be talking about the closing space around the edging. Okay, so we are at that spot where We basically have one bead left. Now, what I like to do is I like to take the needle and put it into the first one to see just how much space do we really have, okay? And when I look at this, I see, well, maybe I could sneak 2 beads in there, but the reality is probably only 1 without making it buckle or crinkle. So I'm going to run this one last bead in here. And we see that it's there, and we see that there is just a little tiny bit of space between those two, but it's not actually enough for 1 bead. So I'm going to go down through this top one and then back up through the last bead that I just added. And I'm going to give those a little bit of a snug. And see that? They line up perfectly. Ear wire on. And you're trying to add these things, the cab that's been beaded, and you've got your ear wire on, and you're trying to add these things, these fringes in, right, one at a time. What is going to happen at some point, where it is inevitable to happen, is that thread's going to get caught around this, and it's just super frustrating. So I like to not even bother with that. I'll set this little guy aside up there. So the next thing that we're going,
So what I do is I wait to put the ear wire on until after all the fringes are done, so they're not going to get in the way.
to do, because I wanted,
So I've weaved around to where I want to start my fringes at the bottom.
and here is my center bead at the bottom. And I'm going to turn this to the side because I always find this easier to work from the side. Now I'm probably going to need to put some more beads out, and I need to make a decision. Do I want, for this part of my earring, do I want my delicas, which are in the center here? These are 15s and these are 15s, the only 15 that we used. So we're going to get that beautiful frosted green as our, let me scoot this over, this beautiful frosted green as our beautiful 15 that hangs green ones. So I'm going to just put this little pile of beads up here.
Dark green ones.
We'll need him for the next earring.
Other camera angle that I have here.
All right. Take this little guy away. Here are my charm package.
I lay the charms out so that I don't get confused what goes where. I lay them out in order.
Our center guy, we'll just set one of those aside because we don't need all of these. So our center guy, then we need this silver one, excuse me, gold one, and then this silver one. 5, and this is if you want the ones that the earrings that are 4.5 inches long, okay? And I do, so I'm gonna make these long. So 25 of our 15 to start with. 2, 3, 5. Get that little guy, 15. Next up, we're gonna pick up 15 of our cylinder beads. 5. Adding the others in there. Let's take a look at these and see how these are going to look. Oh yeah, I really like that. The good color of the 2 greens. Green happens to be.
So we do 25 for the top of the fringe, 15 cylinder beads. These don't have to be delicas. I just happen to have an abundance of them, so that's what I chose.
15.
The treasures work well. Icos work beautifully.
20.
So 25, 15s, 15 cylinder beads, and 25 more.
Okay, and then I go ahead and I pull the beads all the way down to the bottom. And so we're going to take our center bead. Okay.
And I always start my
I'm going to separate off 2
one
of these
direction,
guys right
and then
here.
I weave
Okay.
back, start from the other side of the center.
Go ahead and I'll pick this guy up. And I'm going to get 2 more. And then because I have separated out these two are going to make the anchor point for our charm. So I'm going to be going back through all of these remaining beads that we just added on.
Little trick that I do is I like to,
And you want to be careful so as not to skip a bead. So I'll tend to put on a series of them and then just kind of make sure that those are really on there.
so I go through just a few at a time. I don't go through all of them. With 4.5 inch fringe, you can't go through all of them at one time anyway, unless you use a really long needle, which for me is just clunky. So go through each of these and double check before you go through the edge bead to make sure that you don't have a bead that got skipped accidentally. I'm notorious for skipping one of the tiny ones, getting all the way through to the edge, starting the next fringe and going, oh no. So, and it works. I mean, you can, back it out and, pull it out and start over again, but it's a little frustrating. And so I'm learning to get in a better habit of double checking before I finish. So
That I really managed to go through all of them, because it is not fun to have to go back through all of them again. We'll go through our last 5 beads, turn this over, and we will go through that edge bead that we anchored to, okay?
now, if you take a look at that, what I do is I stop, I pick up a little bit of the ultra suede as well.
And we may find that we have just a little loop there. We're gonna have to, what I do is I hold on to the charm and then I just give it kind of a gentle snug. I don't want to go too tight, and then I'm actually going to pull back against the beads so that they are loose looking, okay? Now I have a choice. I can go to the left or I can go to the right. I'm going to choose to go to the left, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up just a tiny piece of the embroidery ultra suede. I'm not picking it up, hang on here. There we go. Along with going through that next adjacent bead, okay? And the reason that I do that is so that it gives it someplace else to kind of snug through, okay? And I don't pull it too tight because I don't want these beads to start jamming up, okay? And then you're ready to add your next fringe. And so you can just continue to go to the left and add your fringes. We'll check back in when it's time to start.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Roberta, for the comments in chat. So we just keep weaving back and forth, adding our fringes. And once you've done one, the rest of them kind of make sense. One of the things that I'll do is I will weave my needle through when I'm getting ready to tie off a fringe. I'll get to the corner. I'll put this way over here and I will grab the embroidery floss, the embroidery backing. And this is where I will tie my knot in between those 2 layers, okay? And then I'll pull it back through again to try to pull that knot into the embroidery backing. And then you just add your lever wire, your whatever kind of, so in the kit came the lever wires. I love the lever backs myself because it makes, as we talked earlier, I like the long earrings, and the lever wires make them hang just a little bit longer. So that's the reason for choosing the lever wires. The ones in the kits are gold plated or silver plated, and they are currently still on the website. And we'll show a few of those cabs up close during the next part of the show, the cab show. But this is what our sample ends off looking like. And I think he's going to be a really pretty earring.
It's so pretty. I'm so excited.
Thank you. What questions do y'all have?
None from here. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, and I actually used a little bit of the edging and did a little bit of scalloping
Oh, lovely.
embroidery beading around on my, between, when I added the felt on the back and the other part, I just added a little bit more. So
Nice.
Mm.
I was having fun with that. So I haven't gotten to the fringe yet because I've been playing around.
Can we see the edging? Would love to see that.
Yeah, here, let me just, let's see, add spotlight. Okay, let me move in the color here.
Oh, pretty.
So yeah, I'm using a little bit bigger of a piece of, and actually creating like a flame. So my fringes will hang actually in front. And
Oh,
so
how
you'll
beautiful.
see a little bit of the ultra suede along with it. So
Nice.
it's, but yeah, it's really fun. I'm having using the bronze 15 and the 721, which is like an oceanic metallic blend. And
Oh,
it picks up the labradorite flash really well. So I
That's
can
my
see it
favorite
really
color.
how matching your cabochons with all the cool fusing the way you do, it really inspires the beads around it. So
it
I'm
was a lot
looking
of fun.
forward to the trunk show in a minute.
It was a lot of fun to make these. That's why I wanted to go with partial kits, because how many of us have purchased a kit and then we start changing out some of the beads because we would like it just a little different, right? And so I know that our beads talk to us, so that's why I thought, okay, no beads for this kit, just a partial kit, and let people pick out the beads that are talking to them. So
It's really true.
thanks
So
so much for having me.
we're so darn excited. And so the trunk show is coming up very soon. So we're just gonna let Karen get situated in her studio here. And then let's see, where did Hannah go? I know she's here. Oh, there she is, Hannah.
Waving.
Hi there.
Spotlight. And then we'll just remove you for a second, Karen, so then you can do your thing in peace.
Great.
So Hannah, do you want to talk again about our fundraiser that we've got coming up here?
Let's talk first about the Twin City Bead Bazaar.
Oh my
while I
God,
bring
that's
up-
first. That's right. Chronological order. So Bead
Right.
Bazaar.
So I will have a booth with Rochelle at the Twin City Bead Bazaar, which is at the Eisenhower Community Center, and it's not in Minneapolis. Where is it again?
It's right on the verge of Hopkins St. Louis Park.
Okay.
Highway 7 and 169.
And that is the last weekend, the Saturday and Sunday, the 2 days before Halloween, and at the end of this month. And we will have 2 booths there. So Rochelle and I will be sharing the first booth, and I will have some of Sean's lamp work and my lamp work. And then Rochelle, you will have finished jewelry and vintage beads. But can you elaborate on the vintage beads?
Well, it's kind of a collection of different things, and also some vintage jewelry.
Nice.
So it's, if you've ever found bits and bobs of vintage pieces, yet you're just not sure what to go with the rest of it. I'm just a big collector of different things. So, and bead mixes and all these wonderful things. And then we also will have the Toho Challenge design.
Right. All the featured designers from this year will be in the booth that we are having right next to our own booth, the Toho booth. And we'll also have a display of the new recycled glass beads that I'm really excited about. And then I am going to be bringing all my older challenge pieces in one contest piece. And we're going to try to find the ones that I have sold or that I've changed enough that they don't really look like the challenge pieces, because I wasn't always the featured designer. Sometimes I just bought the beads and then I went to town. So we're going to try to find the years that I don't bring.
So we'll have a full collection of all the Toho challenges throughout all the years that we've done it. So all the different palettes. I think we started 2000, and the contest was what, 2012, 2000, even maybe before that.
Right.
We're researching.
Yeah, I can't remember right offhand what the.
But we'll have all kinds of art gallery and
Well,
wonderful
that
things.
seems about right, 2012.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the first one. It was the 996, which is an olivine, and this beautiful metallic raspberry was the first one, I think. And but I have one contest piece from before that that I'll also be bringing, and then
The Twin
Rochelle?
City Bead Bazaar or Upper Midwest Bead Society also will have a wonderful booth
Mhm.
with all sorts of wonderful things. We've got estate sale stuff and donations. And so they'll have tables full of wonderful things for sale. The library that we are emptying out of the textile center will also be there for sale. And then I'm also going to be doing some make and takes, once in the earlier part of the day, once in the afternoon, and a different style of fringe earring, more in a traditional with the brick stitch on the top and the fringe. So if anybody is a little more wants to learn how to do the brick stitch version before adding fringe, then it's just a $5 make and take, and I'll have all the beads for us as well there. There'll be other make and takes going from other vendors as well. So it's a wonderful 2-day event, which we encourage you all to come and support.
I wish.
And so then, and you can see all the vendors and who's coming to that on, there is a Facebook page for the Twin Cities Bead Bazaar. So we're very excited to see you there.
Right, absolutely.
And then in November for our Upper Midwest Bead Society meeting, and that's the 3rd, is that correct?
Let me look that up real quick.
It's the first Monday of every month for all of you who may not be members who might be watching us, or if you forgot,
It's November 7th.
November 7th.
Right.
And we have Barbara Ellis, who is an amazing raccoon designer.
And she will be joining us from her winter home. I think is it Arizona?
No, she's actually down in Florida as well.
Oh, okay. That's her winter home though.
Yep, her
So-
summer home is up here in Minnesota and near Lake Mille Lacs. And
Oh.
so she's a partial Minnesotan.
Right.
And so we're very excited to have Barbara Ellis. And so if you're not a member, you can still join. All our Monday night meetings are for members only, and our
Mhm.
membership is only $35 a year. And then on our Saturday in November for Let's Bead Live, Barbara Ellis is actually going to be having a trunk show. Is that correct?
I think so. Yes, of her raccoon work.
And so we want to get everybody ready for the holidays and be able to find our artisans' work, since you can't all make it to the shows. And Karen and Barbara can't make it to the Twin City Bead Bazaar. So having these online trunk shows really, I think, is going to work out well for our designers and for everyone who lives all over the United States. Also for our November Let's Bead Live, we'll have Madison Haller of Rubinsky Works, and she will be teaching us all about photographing our jewelry and how to promote our jewelry using the photograph campaigns, using little video campaigns, and how to actually get people to see your beautiful work, the best representation that it can. So whether you're just showing it off or trying to sell it, Madison Haller of Rubinsky Works, if you don't follow her on Instagram, she's amazing. She taught a class for the Upper Midwest Bead Society a couple of years ago, and right after her new book was launched. And so she's just an amazing designer, and she's a professional photographer is one of her real life jobs. And now the wedding season is drawing to a halt, so she's back focusing on the jewelry. So
That's exciting because jewelry, it's really hard to photograph. So
yes, you never get the colors right, the shadows, you can't pick up the details. So she'll have great tips and tricks for us.
so
you
the
can
last
go-
thing,
Yeah.
the last thing that we've got is we've got a call for donations. We're going to do a fundraiser on our Upper Midwest Bead Society Facebook page starting at the middle of November, and going through just for a week. It's going to be an auction with a buy it now price, and we've got some really great donations coming in. We've got some kits coming in, some tutorials. We've got some great books. We've got some jewelry. So that will be coming up on the Facebook page, and it will be, as I said, an auction with a buy it now price, and can be shipped anywhere in the world if you want to join in. So I think Karen is ready, right?
Okay, so let's get her back here.
Right. And once again, this is my friend Karen, who I've known for 15 or 20 or maybe a million years. And she has agreed to do this live trunk show with us. Now, the important thing about this is that these pieces are pretty much all one of a kind. Very few of them, I think, if any, are made to order. So in order to claim them, what you need to do is email her. We are not going through chat here. We are not going through comments. If you're watching from the Facebook page, it is email, which is info@karenbruns.com, which you will be able to see both at the top of her, if you're looking directly at her beautiful picture, and also at the bottom of the screen that will have the items. So if you really like it, just go ahead and send her an email. It's, once again, it's not going through chat. It's not going through comments. It's just going through email, so that it can be time and date stamped. And whoever gets it first, you could wait until the end and send all yours, but I wouldn't recommend it. So just send her an email with the item number in the subject line or somewhere in the email itself. So that will, I think, make more sense as we go on, because each item is numbered and also has a price. And is there anything else I should say about this, Karen?
No, let's get this part started.
Let's do it. Karen has shown at Bead and Button before, and she's now showing here.
Yeah, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'll just introduce you to the layout of the little cards here. So this is the item number, DC 1 and 2, and then the price, and then we've got our ruler here, and I'll turn it both ways so that you can see the size of something, okay? And I'll leave it sit for just long enough for you to get a sense of it. So our very first guy is a piece of dichroic glass. So he's a little over 1.25 inches, just barely. And he's almost 3/4 inch. And I'm going to bring him up to the light so that you can see him. Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
So this is what I call slab dichroics. And so how I make these is I get literally a 12 by 12 or 10 by 10, sorry, 10 by 10 piece of black glass. And usually I go with 2 or 3 millimeter. And then I just take all the dichroic glasses that I have and I hack them up in a bunch of really weird shapes. And then I lay them down and weave them in through each other and bake them all on the top. Excuse me, I put it all on the top and I bake them once. And since all glass, when you're fusing it, wants to resolve to about 6 millimeters, it will kind of pull in a little bit, and it will just kind of meld and mesh. And then I run it through the kiln a second time. And this second time, what I do is I put a clear piece of glass over the top of it, usually a 2 millimeter. And what that does is it starts to pull the dichro apart, right? And you can get to see some of those really sharp glistens. So here is DC1, sorry. DC2 is going to be a set. Now these would be killer crazy for earrings. They are fun to beat around when they're like this. This is all from that same kind of slab style, okay? So they would be about a half an inch, not quite a half an inch wide. And for length, they would be 1 inch and 5/8. 6? No, 5/8, yeah, something like that. Okay. So that is DC1 and DC2. And I'm going to go ahead and pull these aside. Put these back in here. Next up, some more Dichro. We'll have DC3 and DC4. So DC3 is a $6 cabochon. It is also from that same type of wild and crazy Dichro layout. Okay, several different colors in here. This is actually, it does not quite showing up on the camera, but it's like an electric teal green, really pretty. That is DC3, it's $6. And then this one is DC4 and it is $8. And it's got a lot of really rich purples in it, some gold, some little flecks of blue. And that is DC4. DC5 and 6. Oops, and there they go. Let's do something a little different here. Let's go with F1. F is for fused, okay? Just plain fused. And so this is a cabochon that allows us to bead around it. It's shiny. It's what's called layered glass. You make it with seven different layers, and then you tile saw, cut it into pieces. And then I'll kind of saw around the edges to make it a different shape, you know, round the edges a bit, and then I bake it again. And so this is F1. And he is
Karen, so are
Yeah.
we looking at the cross section there? So do you make it as a loaf and then?
Yeah, you make it as a loaf. So you layer these up so that they're 7 inches, or excuse me, 7 layers tall. And then, so we're looking at the side of it. Okay.
So it's a cross section. Oh,
Yeah. So then when I tile saw it, I'm cutting through this way, you know, and this way. And well, actually, no, just this way. Sorry, just this way. And then I turn it on its side, and it's kind of a funky looking, you know, rectangle that's dry. And there might even be a couple of little air pocket holes in them. But when you bake them again in the kiln, they resolve to their 6 millimeters and the holes fill in, and it's pretty cool. They stretch out. The ends are really interesting. I'll show you this one very quickly. I'm not gonna list it right now, but I'll show you this one. The ends come out kind of a goofy shape like this, right? And I put 2 of them together, and it builds this really cool cross in between. Almost looks like a road to me. So we'll look at that one in a little bit. So there's F1. F2 it's got this really cool band of silver in it, and it's a reactive glass. So when it bakes, the edges, the top of it turned silver. So when I cut it, rather the side of it turned color. Can't even talk. The side of it turned silver. If I were to have then hand sanded this, that color would have gone away. It's actually this color blue underneath. So this edge baked up really cool. So it's got this almost hematite line in it. Pretty slick. Anyway, this guy is this size. Let me put this guy here. So F1 is $9 and F2 is $10.
The prices on these are wonderful. These are just really, really affordable for one-of-a-kind pieces of glass.
They're fun. I really enjoy these pieces. So F3 is of a different type of a cross section. So this guy, I love this guy for like a drop. He's all grays and whites and blacks. So I can get him a little closer to see all those colors in there. So his measurement is a little over 1/2 inch wide, not quite 2 inches long. He'd be really great drop. So that's F3. F4 is yet another color. So this one was primarily oranges and yellows on each side with reds in the center. And if you look close, you could even see a little definition between 2 layers of yellow. It's got really brilliant shine on it, and that shine does not dull. So here's our size for F4. F3 is 10 and F4 is $8. So next up is a really interesting piece of reactive glass. Now these are F5, 6, and 7. I'm going to put them all out at the same time. So this is vanilla glass, French vanilla glass with turquoise frit placed over the top of it. And it's a reactive glass, this French vanilla. And so anytime it comes in contact with this turquoise, it turns these little flecked spotted browns. It's pretty cool. I think they look like little galaxies. These 3 are either $8 a piece, or they can be sold as a set for 5, 6, 7, and 8. They are all the same size. Okay, make sure I'm putting, oops, yeah, 7, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Any questions? Please feel free to ask them as I'm going through.
They're all so pretty.
Thank you. Next up, F8 and F9. F8 has another type of, it's another type of reactive glass. This is actually one of my very favorite pieces to make, next to the river glass, which I'll show you in a little bit here. But this is also a base of French vanilla. It has that turquoise blue frit that I was talking about that's reactive, but it also has a piece of silver sheeting in it. And that fine silver sheet will do this little explosion of a silver and then kind of bust out, keeping some of the turquoise blue, really pretty. This is a great size for, a wrist bracelet. This is F8. And that is F8 size.
Oh, that one is fabulous.
I love this one. Yeah, this is among my favorite. This is the very last piece that I have of this in stock right now. I will be making more, but not for a little while. I wait for the cooler months to fuse. F9 is another type of layering. So just a different combination of colors. So if you're into the blues to the greens, this is a really nice one. It's got 7 different colors of blue and green in it. F8 is $8 and F9 is $9. And I do tend to price these based on the sizing used. I do an average of the cost of most of the glasses, unless something's super expensive. Then I will price it just a little different, like the dichroics, they get priced a little differently. So that's F8 and 9. Next up, F10 is a set. I thought this might be kind of a fun necklace piece, right? You know, it could have a couple of little dangles. Let's see if I can put these on here, looking a little straighter. So you could turn these either way, right? So you could have them two pieces. They're just slightly different size, about 1 inch across and less than 1 inch wide.
How wonderful would those be as the centerpiece for a peacock feather?
Ooh,
Ooh, yeah.
ooh. Girls giving me ideas. That's F10.
So are those a good size for earrings? You could make them into peacock feather earrings.
You could, they are not identically sized though, so they're just a fraction off, but
You know what, if anybody's got a tape measure and is measuring your ears, you ought to smack
yeah,
them.
they're just small enough that they really wouldn't look that different, you know, with the difference between your face.
Those
Side
are
by
fab.
side, they might look just a little different.
Mhm. I think they're fabulous. Those are wonderful.
Thank you. Go back to some dichro. Girls got to have dichro. So DC6 is $15. This is one of my favorite ones too. Anytime you see that blue and green and that orange with the
Boy,
blue.
is that gorgeous? That is gorgeous.
So this would make a lovely bracelet centerpiece, or it would also make a beautiful necklace. But look at that blue in there. Isn't that crazy good? So here is our size. Let's serve up the next one. Wait. So DC6 is $15. And then this is DC8, excuse me, DC7. And she is $18. Here are the sizes. We'll set these guys aside. DC8 is $20. And this one is just full of color and opportunity. We've got some purple, some pinks, some teal greens, some emerald greens, some orange, golds, kind of a ocean blue, and then that favorite one that I have that has that orange and blue and green. This is our size for DC8. Or DC9 rather. I have the wrong piece of paper on here. Apologies. DC9. Okay. What do you guys want? More dichroic, or do you want more of the fused?
Yes, everything.
All right. Yes, everything. Okay.
All of it.
Next up is F12 and 13. F12 and 13 are more of the black and silver and gray and white. And these are not quite the same size, so I'm selling them as separates. There are sizes. These are both $8. And here's the vertical size. Okay. Next up. These are called velvet glass. Now, velvet glass was actually named by Hannah. I brought them to the Bead and Button show to our booth to sell. And I said, they need a name. I don't know what to call them. You know, they totally need a name. And so she gave it a name. And so what these are is these are hand polished. These are the same layering that we talked about earlier, but these are hand polished with a diamond bar underwater. And there's a really cool thing about these guys. These guys love lotion, right? So we put a little dot of lotion there in our hands. So sometimes what happens when these velvet glasses, if they're traveling around together, they get a little scratchy, maybe a little dingy looking, and these guys just love lotion. So I put them in and I rub them together, and look at how beautiful they sheen.
Thank you.
So this one
Great.
is turquoise and rusts and kind of a burnt orange and a peach and a brown. So this is B1 for velvet glass. And then we have one in blues and blacks. Oops, over this way. Now we have a little tiny bit of lotion left on the hand, so I'm just going to do this again. And it just pops right up there. So here's our size for V1 and V2. Both are $9. These are a little pricier because of the physical effort to create them. Our counter measurement. Oh, looks like my light just died. Next up, B3. This guy over a little bit here. There we go. A little more light. B3 is that piece that we talked about earlier, okay? Oranges and reds. And this is our size, also velvet glass. And that is B3. Next up, some of my very favorite river glass. So river glass is starts out with a sheet of clear. And then I use different sized frits and I kind of populate them over and I bake them. You'll see two different sizes of frits here. One is kind of a medium frit. The other is a smaller frit. Let's see, R1 is the smaller frit. And this is river glass. And so this almost looks like little ivies inside, but what you may or may not be able to see in here is it's also backed by dichroic glass. And so it looks to me like a riverbed, if you will. It's got this beautiful shine behind it. So R1, there's R1 size, it is $10. And then here is the river glass for R2. And its size is $12. Turn sideways for our view there for the measurement. Okay, R1 and R2. R3 and R4.
These are hard to see on online, guys. So if you're watching online, these things in person just have this wonderful, wonderful sparkle to them that no matter what you really can't get with the camera, but they are just fabulous in person.
So here is another, this is R3. And this is kind of a perfect size for, you could get away with it with a ring if you have larger hands or like big rings. Otherwise, this would be great for, even a little pendant, a little dainty pendant, or even on your wrist. R3 is $6. And then here is R4. Look at all the color in there. See the pink flashes? This is our back side. You can see how pretty that is. R4, $12.
R4 looks a little like opal.
Yeah. And there is our measurement for R3 and R4.
Oh, shoot.
Next up is a set. And I think this would be really fun. If you are into heavier earrings or you don't mind them, this could be a great set for earrings. And these are M1s M1 because they are Marinis. Okay. So let me pull them up here. They're like little poppies inside of a kind of a tangerine colored glass. Here are our sizes. Okay. Here's another Marine. This is one of my favorites. This one is, it's got like these, they were supposed to be flowers of some kind. We're not really sure what they are, but it's also got those little yellow and blue dory fish in them.
Mm.
And a lot of fun because these ended up looking, baking out like they are tubes, like sea tubes. So to me, it looked like it was perfect. These little fish swimming around, next to the tubes in the sea. And so here is our measurement for M2. Okay. And these are our last two pieces of river glass. I want to make some more. R5 and R6. R5 is another of the, Hannah called them opalized. So that's kind of what it looks like. It has that same shimmer. Here is our size for R5. R6 is my favorite piece of it that I've ever made. And it's got all these different blues and some of the white and brown fritz against kind of an orange tangerine background with it flashes. So, and this guy is $9. Turn sideways for the second measurement. How are we doing on time, Hannah?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Keep going, call it done. What do you want to do?
I think we want to keep going. Do we want to keep going? Let's keep
Yeah.
going.
Why not? Let's see some more.
All right. Next up is porcelain cabs that are painted just like the ones that we did for the earrings today. Some of them have a different theme. So our first one is P1, and these I normally sell for $20, but I'm selling them for $12 today. Okay. And this is, I'll show you our size here, but this has got kind of some browns and some blues in it. It's perfect cab centerpiece. Not even necessarily for a statement piece. I've got two in here that are perfect for statement pieces though. They're much bigger. Next up, more of the fused layer.
Oh,
And these are the blues to the greens. These would also make a really beautiful bracelet piece or pendant piece. You could see here, they look, if you look at where I am instead of the sheets, this decent pendant size. And F14. And then we have another one just like it, F15. $12 each. And these are the same size, should you be interested in a set. Ooh, another porcelain piece, painted just like our caps from today. And I love this one because it's got all these beautiful pinks and purples. This is P2. If you're a pink and purple person, this is a definite one for you. When you get these, you'll notice that they're all porcelain tends to have a little bit of some imperfections in it when you buy them already, made and ready to glaze or paint. And this is no exception. Some of them have little natural occurring imperfections, but I kind of think it adds to the personality of the piece. Anyway, this is made with alcohol inks and the glaze, and this is our size. Next up is P3. Now this one uses metallics and pearlized, so you can see that sheen in there. These are all also backed with embroidery backing, okay? So that trick that I taught you earlier about stitching through the back of a separate piece of embroidery backing and then capturing the edges of this as you bead around works on these as well. This is P3. P4 is another porcelain painted. I love this one too because it's got, blues and greens, my favorite colors. And so this one has got some crazy cool detail. I'm not sure if you can see some of these little tiny dots around it. It's almost, this is from a Cosmic Splash series. For our sale, we're just calling them the porcelain caps, though. I'm grouping them all together. But these are like little universes within themselves, and they offer up a lot of opportunity to play with different designs surrounding it. This is P4. These are 2 inches across. Who wants to see some resin?
Me.
Okay. We're going to start with a palm tree. So I had learned from Gail Crossman Moore a technique that caused different resin applications to glow a little bit. And years back when I think my kids were, it's been probably 25 years because my kids were little. They were like 4 and 2. So 27 years actually. And I was a single mom and it was super poor. And so I ended up painting a fireplace and painting a Christmas tree. And then they made those little construction paper rings and then we decorated the wall, with them. But the fireplace used a technique that I've now transferred to these resin pieces. And I have to give Gail credit because her technique woke up that memory in mine. And so what I decided to do was experiment with what I had done to make that fireplace look like it actually had a roaring, crackling fireplace. And it works on the resin as well. So that's kind of exciting. These little guys are fun for bead embroidery. Our measurement. And I have 3 of these. So I'll take the first 3 emails.
So you mean you have 3 of the palm tree available?
3 palm trees available. Yes.
Nice. Awesome.
and they are $20. And they come with, they weren't really, they come with little Swarovski crystal coconuts. You could see the little flash. Yeah. How about dragon eggs? Anybody like dragon eggs?
Absolutely.
So these dragon eggs, I have 4 of this size, but they have some different details. So we'll talk about them individually. So this is kind of a peach radiating one. This is from our Radiant Resin line. And it just kind of glows much in the same way, you know, as if you were looking at it under a light, you know, in a real egg, right? So in this one, it's textured on the top, and it is just over 1 3/4 inches in length. And 1 3/8 inches wide. This is R2, small dragon egg, is $12. R3, 4, and 5 have a little different semblance on the inside. 3, 4, and 5 are the same size as the last one, but they have veins in them. Can you see them?
Wow.
And those veins are visible. I've made a piece with this. They show up as you're wearing them here. It's kind of creepy.
I know, it looks alive.
Right? Here's a purple one. You see the veins in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about this is that when you have eggs, and you can do something called candling them to
Yeah.
find out whether or not they're alive. And this is what you see if you candle them, and you put a flashlight up, and you can tell whether or not they're actually becoming little birds and animals if they have the veins. I love this.
This to me, they're fun to me because they're like borderline creepy, but not too creepy, you know? So these are the same size as the other one, are 3, 4, and 5, and they are $12 a piece. RR, so Radiant Resin, RR6 and RR7. These are small fairy doors and a medium-sized fairy door. These are also from the Radiant Resin line, and they also have Swarovski nail heads. So you'll see a little bit of a flash there. And here are our sizes. I have a kit that's going to be coming out probably around Christmas time that involves the medium-sized one, and it's a little fairy garden. It's the fairy door is built into a tree that has hanging tendrils with flowers, and I enjoy. I really love these little fairy doors. Okay, RR6 and RR7. Oh, these guys, just in time for Halloween. A fruit bat. Here's our little fruit bat, and he has a little glowy tummy and face.
Oh, he's cute.
I wanted to emulate what the real fruit bats kind of look like, and you know, have that beautiful orange, you know, on part of their body and their tummy, but these beautiful black wings. This is RR8, the fruit bat. Next up, RR9 and 10 are large dragon eggs. And these are definitely like more statement piece. And they are hand painted. One is hand painted and one is using, iridescent powders and a glaze. So this one is RR9 and it has this shimmer to it. Its color does not come from within. Its color is added to the outside. And this one, its color is added to the outside. And this is hand painted, gold and bronze. This is actually one of my favorite ones. And here are our sizes. These are $18 a piece. RR9 and RR10. And if smaller fairy doors that have the glow aren't quite your thing, we also have larger fairy doors that are hand painted. We'll go with RR11 first. It's got a real stone look to it. It is surrounded by stones. We have for our door armatures is kind of a silvery hematite, and our door is like almost a mossy brown to it, or excuse me, mossy green to it. This is RR11. RR12 has kind of a sea mossy green, you know, like a lighter mossy green, gold door armatures, and the stones are both a combination of silver and gold for highlighting. These are $18 a piece. RR11 and 12. RR13 is more of the bronze and the gold. Bronze rocks with gold accents, gold door armatures, and a bronzy gold wooden door, resin. This is RR13, $18. Okay, RR14 is a horse named Saphira. This is also a radiant resin. This one I totally dig. She's black and she's purple that flashes to kind of a golden orange. She's a pretty big girl. Her size is just over 3 inches. And her width is 4. Or her height rather is 4. She's $32. And she has a sister, also Sarah. And this one has a little bit more of the orange flash in it.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Thank you. She is the same size as the last one. And they have a brother named Horace. Because who doesn't need a Horace in their life?
Horace the horse.
Horace the horse, yeah. He's our R16 and he's face on with a beautiful mane of feathers. And he would make, I think, a stunning piece. Look how beautiful that might be. So he is our R16 at 27. Let's go back to some dichro. Go with DC 10 and 11. DC 10 is $20. All those royal blues and purples and pinks and golds. DC 11 has oranges and pinks and greens, golds. And there's our vertical measurement. DC 12 and 13. DC 12 is $8. Blues, royal blues, greens, pinks, golds. It's a good flash in there. DC 13. Actually, I think DC 13 might be incorrectly priced. I'm gonna mark this down to the same price because it's about the same size. So we're gonna give this one for $8. And this one has a band of purple that flashes to kind of a gold and an olive. And it's got orange and teal blue and some crackle sky blue. Our side measurement. DC 14 is one of my favorite dichro pieces. My other favorite color is orange. And so you get to see a lot of oranges and golds. And I love these black lines that have come out, you know. When you use your kiln with this kind of a cut, it's every time you open your kiln, it's Christmas.
I love that green and gold. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. That one is $15, DC 14. DC 15 and 16. DC 15 has green and gold and purple and pink and olive and kind of a sky blue and a little bit of a milky purple. And
Really pretty.
thank you. This is another one of my
Yeah.
favorites. So sometimes I can set the glass up just right so that a little bubble will appear. And this one has a little bubble in it that's deeper under the surface, so it's not going to pop out or crack later. I love this one because it's got so many different colors in that bubble. I don't know why. I think the bubbles inside of them are so cool. DC 15 is $10. DC 16 is $15. So some of the differences in price, you might be looking at those saying, well, wait a minute, that one seemed to be kind of the same size. So do you see how this particular piece and this one looks almost like it's splintered compared to the others, which just look like they're high glitter? So this is a type of dichro called crinklized dichro. It looks pretty and flat when you put it in the oven, and when you bring it out of the kiln, it has split and like splintered and shattered into a bunch of different little metallic pieces. And sometimes the color, like this went in one color and it comes out all these different colors because of the separation of the glass as it pulls. It pulls even more when you put the clear on top. You can even put another piece of clear on top and bake it a third time, and it'll pull even more and create some larger splinters. Really kind of cool. And very expensive to buy. Let's see, let's break out some resin. These are skulls with wings. And the crystal, formerly known as S. We've got a ton of little studded crystals on his helmet. So he is perfect for Halloween. And this is his size. And I have 2 of these, a quantity of 2.
Right.
That's RR17 and they are $24 a piece. Let's stick with the spirit of wings. And let's go with this is a hanging bat, perfect for bead embroidery. He's all tucked in to his wings. He is $31 to measure him. He is just over 1.5 inches wide, and he is 3.5 inches long. And his eyes are a little bit different. So he's kind of a matte velvet look with a sheen, and then his eyes are actually shiny. And this is his profile. I love this guy. Just creepy enough. RR18, $31. And our last winged things are raven skull with wings. This is a matte satin black. Great for bead embroidery. And that is his size. I have 2 of these. This is RR19 and he is $16 and I have 2. DC 17 and 18. Let's go back to the dichros.
Those are all great for any time of year, but especially this time of year.
Right. DC 17. Lots of blues and greens and that beautiful blue green that splashes some orange in there. This is another fun one. Pinks and purples and gold that flashes to green and crinkleized blue and violet. The top one is $10. The bottom one is $6. DC 17 and 18. DC 19. Purples and crinkleized gold and blue and pink. With a couple of those prominent black lines.
Pretty.
DC 20. Crinkleized gold, pink, blue. We have gold here with a really interesting green black stripe that runs through it.
So how much do you plan in advance and how much just kind of happens?
So I plan by putting, layering the glass like I talked about, but what happens is sometimes there's a little bit of a black space, or sometimes there's a corner on top of another piece of glass. And so it goes in and you think you have an idea of what's going to happen. And it comes out and you're like, yeah, okay, that's what happened, right? But then when you put that clear layer on top, that's a whole different ball of wax. You have no idea what you're going to get. It comes out, and then I tile saw it into different size pieces that I think, oh, that might be a decent size cab, you know, and I try to make them almost all a different size, because sometimes people want a different size. Not everybody wants the same size, right? And so that second time when you put that clear on, that's when the magic starts happening.
That's fabulous. Thank you.
Great question. So this is a DC 19 and 20, and they are both 15. DC 21 and 22. DC 21, another one that has great color. This is kind of a violet, purple, royal blue. I can't even describe it, with this flash of kind of lime green and gold, and then some purples, and then some golds down at the bottom. This makes it, what I love about things like this is like the design opportunities are crazy. What I would do with something like this, bead embroidering it, I would go get every single one of those colors and lay them out, and where that violet purple was, that's what I would bead around. Where the gold was, I would change to the gold at the base. Where it seemed like it was, you know, bigger over here and smaller over here, I would match that. I would echo it. Thanks, Joyce. Bye. And so this is DC 21 and DC 22. This is a fun one because it's got all colors, pink and orange and purples and golds. And this one is $20.
I like that last one. Put that back for a minute. It looks like it was woven. It's kind of fun. Look at that. Look at how it looks like it goes over and under, and it looks like it was woven.
It was, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I was talking about, stacking it precariously, like, you know, just putting it in different spots. A little tail of this one underneath that one. Yeah.
That's- Oh, that's great.
Let's see.
Watch what Auntie Karen's doing. Mhm.
Oh, look at that little girl.
It was lap time.
All right, let's try this one. Let's go back to our porcelain. Really great for Halloween time. This is a really dark pumpkin orange with browns. There's even a couple of little flecks of purple and red splashing throughout here at the edges. This is another of those 2-inch ones, P5, $12 on sale.
Now, just as a reminder, Karen also has some of these on her website as the partial kits from today's project, and those are still available. I'll go ahead and drop the website back into the chat and to the comments section if you're watching on Facebook. But there are some sets from the earrings from today still available on her website, along with the matching drops. So I'll go ahead and put that in right now.
I'll pull a couple of those out just to show the example.
Okay, let's do that right now.
Yeah.
So, and I'll put those in. Now, Karen, tell us where else they can find these. If they, are you going to be putting leftovers on your website? Are you going to be taking part in jewelry kit markets? Tell us what else is going to go on with these. So
jewelry kit market, they don't permit partial kits. So these are going to remain on my website, and they'll just stay there until we run out. There's all different colors there. So this is one example. This is the one called Pink and Green, and it's #1. Again, these are alcohol inks with a glaze over them. And these partial kits, what they have in them is the cabs, the charms, the ear wires. You get to choose your color on the website, silver or gold plated. And here's another example. This is a purple green number 2.
Oh,
They
that's
kind of
pretty.
fun with, you know, different design possibilities. So another example, if you liked those, this might be fun. That one cab, let's see, I think it was this one, P3. There's an earring set that would match that.
So also, I've written in the chat and also in the comments that people can shop after this trunk show is closed. But because they're all one of a kind, except for some of the radiant resin, they may be out. So it's first come, first serve. But they can do that by emailing you. Is there anywhere else that they can get any cabochons after this? The ones that are not part of the kits, I mean. Is there
Yeah.
anywhere else that they can get cabochons
Those
from you?
I can put the kits, or excuse me, I can put the cabochons into the jewelry kit market.
Mhm.
And during component shows. And those are the 14th through the 16th and the 28th through the 30th of every month.
Now, Jewelry Kit Market is an online Facebook group for anybody who doesn't know, and they generally have kits, but this time, right now, actually, they've got components twice a month.
Beautiful.
So,
yeah. And the prices are pretty reasonable. Folks are that are posting there, they're pretty reasonably priced. This next one is also a dichroic piece.
Okay.
It's dichroic combined with that fused stack that I was showing you earlier. And I like this one because it's got some crazy personality, you know? And so let's go ahead and measure that guy. This is DC 51.
I would say they all have unique personality because they're so, you know,
Yeah.
works of art individually.
Oh, thank you. DC 53. I'm kind of proud of DC 53 because this was one of the first things that I did at Bead and Button to differentiate myself. I actually had some dichroic specially made for just me, and cost you an arm and a leg to do it. I probably would never do it again, but I still have plenty of this particular dichro, which is silver. It's all silver and black. And what I did is it's all sundials, and
Pretty.
I put some different shapes on there. And I think I've got 2 pieces of this, and I like these. So these are going to be this size. It's DC 53 and it's $15.
oh, that's some sexy steampunk right there.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a little bit sexy. And then we have, just to show you the difference, the other one that I have is DC 52, and it's got a little bit of a curve to it, right? So you make this by taking your glass cutting wheel and just kind of, curving it as you're going along. And it doesn't matter if you match the curve on the other side, because you're trying to keep something that's, got some character. So, and this is the size. DC 52 is $15. Let's go with, I'm jumping around with some numbers because I want to show you some of the different cabs without taking your entire afternoon and day. So DC 48 and DC 49. These are a gold that I did not cover. I chose not to cover these with clear because it gives them kind of a satiny look, and it's actually a marbled glass, a swirled glass. So you can see, you may not be able to see it in, actually you can kind of see it, little swirls in there. And it's got a gold layer of glass over the top of it. So it almost looks like it was fumed.
Oh, those are fabulous.
So this one
Oh,
is,
They'd be a great pair of earrings.
they would.
yeah.
They're a
Yeah.
little different in size.
So
I
what?
I don't think it matters.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So DC 48 and DC 49, these are each $5 a piece.
Oh, that's all? Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Those are great. Look at those.
Oh, these are some fun ones too. Let's get these guys in the mix. 42 and 43. So patterned dichro can be a lot of fun. It has a lot of design opportunities that I love. You know, it's you can really play with the shape and the design of these patterned ones. So this is DC 42. Blues and greens, $10. And then this is DC 42, and it's more golds and oranges.
Oh,
Yeah, look at that pattern. Oh,
look at them. Isn't that beautiful?
I love those.
Oh,
And these are each $10. Oh, here's another one. This one, DC 32. $8. And this one actually has little tiny purple hearts.
Huh? That's cute.
They're different sizes. And an interesting thing happened when I put these on here, and then you bake them and then you put another piece of clear on. When it was spreading out, it actually took the little purple heart, and as it stretched it out, there's little tiny rings of silver around each heart. And there is the size for DC 32. DC 35 is another fun one. Hannah, I think this is going to be the last, no, next to the last one, okay? Oops, not that one. This is kind of a striking combination. To make this one, what I did is I started with a black base and then just took a triangle of dichro and put another piece of clear on top, and this is what you get.
Pretty.
$10. Okay, these three last. Go with P8. Wait. So this is P8 porcelain cab. These are the 2-inch cabs. And this one is it's got greens and browns. I think of it as like a forest scene almost. The 2-inch cab.
Oh, pretty.
And then it
Pretty.
has a brother or a sister, I guess you might call P9, is very similar too.
That's pretty.
Thank you. P9.
Oh, those are gorgeous. Look at those.
I can see the foresty like reference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
And
you.
those are
So-
definitely Karen's colors.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
Definitely.
great.
Colors, yeah.
So Karen, let's go ahead and out of all of the pieces you have, show your very favorites. And then I think we should probably wrap up a little bit. I have a little bit of work that I need to, special order I need to get to this afternoon.
Perfect.
And,
So my very favorite one we looked at already, and that was the R6.
we'll show that again.
I'm showing it.
Show it again.
I love it.
Because it's gorgeous. Yeah, I have to make Buckeye beads all afternoon.
Buckeye beads.
Yeah. You know, I went to Ohio State University and they love their Buckeyes. And
Oh,
I know Joanne is in Michigan, and I am going to be making Buckeye beads, I think, for the rest of my life. They're a brown bead with an ivory dot, and they're not very fun, but boy, do they pay rent.
Yeah.
But it's the logo of the Buckeyes or something, or what?
It's I'll send you a picture. It's ridiculous, and it's also sort of fun at the same time. So
oh, they buy them at Ohio State?
all over the place. Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you, Upper Midwest Bead Society, for allowing me to share.
Those were fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. I was trying to finish to show you my earring. I did finally, where am I? There we go. I got all the charms and
Wow.
all of the fringes.
Oh, that's fabulous. Look at that.
And so I've been having so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Good. Awesome.
Having a great time. And I really loved your class. Thank you so much for showing us all your beautiful works. And I just have to think, I think it was F8, the forest one. If I remember right now, I was trying to take notes, but if you wanted to put pictures in the comments or anything as well, you know, we just are so excited that you're sharing your art with us. You're sharing your love of, you know, creation. And so
Thank you.
we just, very inspired. So I hope everyone else is too.
Oh, it was fabulous. We had a bunch of people watching on Facebook and emailing me questions. And Lisa Dooley says that she loves the work. She was watching on Facebook too. Yeah, we were just really having a wonderful time. Thank you so much for donating your time to us for the class. And guys, if you are watching this and it's after the fact and you've seen something that you like, you can still go ahead and email Karen. That email address is right over her head there, info@karenbruns.com. Just email her with the item number. And if for some reason you've missed the item number, go ahead and email her anyway and try to describe it to her. And I bet that she'll be
But
able
that's
to
what
help you
rewind
out.
is for. You just
All right.
rewind the video on Facebook and
Oh.
then you can see it all again, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But once again, you know, don't put, if you want something and you see it, don't put it in this chat, in the comment section in Facebook. You have to go ahead and email Karen. So,
Perfect. Thanks you so much. We hope to see you all at the Twin City Bead Bazaar, October 29th and 30th at the Eisenhower Community Center.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Come here.